Okay, we'll call the Architectural Review Board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Lee, Larson,
Here.
Schneider,
Here.
Cabrera-Wusek,
Here.
Correll.
Okay, we do have a quorum, 3 out of 5, we're good. Anybody on Zoom that we need to make note of? Okay, so we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, get this meeting rolling. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next on the agenda is citizens' time. This is for anybody who is not here to speak on their COA, just general comments towards any of these COAs that are being applied, or comments on the board's performance or non-performance. Anybody out there? Okay, we're good. So we'll move on to minute approval.
Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared to make a motion unless there's any, well, I'll have discussion after the motion. I move that the Architectural Review Board approve the May 20th, 2020 Architectural Review Board minutes.
Okay, got a motion. Julia, would you like to second?
I second the motion.
Okay, motion and second. You said there was some discussion you wanted, Marshawn?
No, I was going to ask if there was any discussion, but I think I'll move the
Okay.
motion first.
Okay, Julia, are you, do you have any comments to make on the minutes?
No.
Okay, we'll put it up for a vote then. Since we do not have anybody on Zoom representing us, we'll just make it a verbal vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so minutes approved. We'll move on to the next agenda item, which is zoning permit 2020-010.
Okay, our first zoning permit we have tonight is for Vitality Aesthetics. Packet page 6, you have my report. The only item that I had for discussion for the board was just, I wanted everyone to notice that the capital V and the capital A in the main text of the sign is not that of the Gaudi old style. This is, however, something in the past that we have approved. So we have set that precedence with other businesses in town. One, for an example, would be Ash Salon, where the A was not the same Tomaha font as the rest of the sign. So the applicant is here tonight, and I'd like to just call them up to answer any questions you may have about the sign.
Evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Do you have any comments you would like to make before we pose any questions, or you just here to field the questions?
I'm just here to field the questions.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have any questions. It was very well laid out, the explanations.
Yeah, with the pictures and the impression on top of the building does help out. I'm assuming that the V&A are going to be kind of like your branding, so you wanted to make them stick out a little bit more?
It is. This is our primary logo for our business. We have variations, but everything uses the same V&A.
Okay, so I would deem this as like we've done with everything else, where companies have a branding, we would consider this a branding.
Only question I have, do you have a copy of the packet?
I do not.
Is that okay? On page 16, or page 17, if you notice, this is a comment about symmetry. So we have the farmost corner is centered more or less under the last 3 windows. in the middle, there's kind of offset under the two windows on either end. I notice here you're centering more under the, where is it? Ooh. You're centering kind of on the four windows to balance the, oh, there you go. Do you mind if I get up and?
Yeah, I can see it. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, we can easily move it right.
Yeah, it's for balance, and right now you have it kind of centered.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense to shift it so that way you're balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not a problem.
Does the board have any comments on that? or Just something I noticed.
No, I think that's a good,
Sure.
mhm.
On the other half of it. I think the sign maker did that because, part of the reason was because the light pole was right there and it kind of gives us a little bit of blockage. And like, it kind of gives us blockage no matter what. So I think that's why they kind of made it more centered than more to the side. Cause it just kind of cuts the view a little bit, but if the symmetry is high priority, we can certainly.
Wait a second, so there's what?
So right here, you have
How many, what?
The power pole.
power poles.
Yeah, they
and then
doubled
you
up.
have a light pole. That one's tucked just further for where he marked Dempsey Street.
So what did I miss there? There's 3 dormers on the left and 2 dormers on the right.
So, yeah, I mean.
I can't, I just noticed that.
There's 6 windows
Okay.
up here and 4 over here.
Okay, never mind, I take that back. I missed that obvious point. I apologize. See what I'm saying? That if it was symmetry, if there was 5 and 5 on each
Yeah.
side, but now that they're different, I think it will look odd now if you move it over to the right. So I take my previous comment back, that's fine. Thank you for indulging me. I've never noticed it before. I lived here 15 years, I've never noticed.
Well, we've been building that space for several months, and I didn't notice it either. So.
Who approved that?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's the only real questions we have. Anybody else have any questions before we put it up?
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
We'll put it up for vote then. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I thought we had a motion in the discussion. Okay, you're right, we didn't. That was the last one. I'm already moving too quickly ahead. Thanks for the call. Keep me straight. Okay,
I make a motion to approve the COA ZP 2020-10 for a new sign for Vitality Aesthetics at 15100 Washington Street.
second.
okay, you got a motion and second. Now, last time for discussion. Okay, now we'll put it up for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're good to go.
Congratulations.
Thanks for coming in and answering our questions for us. Okay, next item is ZP 2020-11.
Yes, if you have the packet, I apologize, everything's kind of upside down. But on page 21 here, you have my report. So Mr. Baker would like to do a front porch extension to what he already has right now, and then a rear deck expansion. So I did put on here the deck is an administrative approval, but it's in the packet just as well for your information. On page, bear with me 1 second with everything. On page 31, you can see the images here, and I will pass around the actual pictures as well to look at. He would like to request that the bottom of the porch columns have the stonework detail in this craftsman style. So that is up for discussion tonight. Other homes in the neighborhood do not have this style. However, the clubhouse does, as well as the park building that we own. So that's one discussion item there. And then you'll also see, it got cut off in your packet, but you'll see in the pictures that there is an example of another house that has that full porch all the way across the front on the bottom with the roof and the columns. And he is also here this evening to answer any questions or have any discussion with you guys as you see fit.
Okay.
Has the HOA approved this?
It's going to go to the HOA at the end of the month, and so that he did. Yeah, absolutely.
22nd.
Yes.
HOA meeting scheduled for the 22nd, which is Monday. Tried to get on prior to today's, but that didn't happen. So one, seeing that the town will approve the stonework on the front porch. As far as the height of the porch, no real building permit needed because it's under 16 and a half inches. However, everything will follow through Prince William for what they want done. The roof, I believe that's Red House in Conley, which is the house that I'm talking about. That's the one with the green shutters on it. Just for reference, that's got the full porch. So the easiest one is find one's got the dual pictures, which would be this one right here. It looks like two pictures on it.
Hold on, Julian.
That one right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it cut off.
So if you look,
If you put it over here, we
the
can
top
see
one's
it.
mine, but that picture there, that's a Chandler home in the development. That's the same model that I own, with a full porch, with three
That's
pillars, white railing. With the HOA and Green Hill Crossings, there's about 300 and plus single-family homes. There's not one single full porch that is identical. Every porch is different.
Yeah.
Either the railings are painted to match the color of the house, or they're white composite or wood. As far as stone goes, I've walked the neighborhood. She's right, the clubhouse does have stone on it. And what I've discovered also, Gillis Way, which is part of Green Hill Crossings now, out of the 8 or 10 houses there, 3 of them's got stone in front of the house. So there is houses in that development that do have stonework on it. So what I'm asking for is stacked stone. The stacked stone would be approximately 39 inches high, which would be just above the railing height so that the white picket would tie into it. And along the bottom of the porch would be stonework as well to match it, which is, you got your concrete overhang about 2 to 3 inches, so that you're going to be looking about 12 to 14 inches of stonework on the bottom part of the porch. Because that grade is like 16 and a half inches right now, not even 16 and a half inches right now at the highest point. And when you go to the corner of the house, it's like 14 inches. So I'm below the height requirement there, so you're not going to see much of the stonework. I am looking to enhance the neighborhood by adding stone to it. Every neighborhood you go to nowadays has got stonework. So that's what I'm looking for. Now, the stonework here or HOA doesn't want to approve it, then obviously I would go with the white railing with the pillars.
And I didn't really read the description of the pillars. What type of pillars are you just
They're
putting?
called craftsman pillars. So basically, what you would do is your stone. Well, you do like a 4x4 or 6x6 wooden pillar from the roof to the concrete slab, and then you would build your block around the pillar so that the support goes all the way to the concrete, and then you're basically wrapping the pole with veneer block or veneer stone.
That's basically what the Haymarket post office.
Post office got it. That's a bigger stone. I'm looking more of a square edge look. If you also look over here on Washington Street, on the bottom of the porch, there's actually stone there, and it's very old stone. There's a house there, and if you go on the other side, there is some porches. They're wooden porches, but the bottom's got stone base up to it. So if you look through the town Haymarket itself, Washington Street, Monroe, corner of Washington and Monroe, there's another porch that's wooden, and the bottom half does have stone with wooden handrails. I'm looking to do composite. The composite is more weather resistant, it's just more modern. So that's what I'm looking to go with.
Sheets has the stone bases, we got plenty of examples over
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Sheets has got it too, yeah. So it's more of a modern look, and like I said, it's more what everybody's going towards.
And of course, the approval would be contingent on him providing the HOA. So we can always, depending on what you guys decide for the stone, you can always give 2 options in case the HOA were not to approve.
If the HOA says no stone and they just want to go with the typical white pillars with the white handrails, And with it being under 36 inches, it really doesn't need a railing because it's less than 3 feet. But I do want to put the railing on for as steep as it looks. So that's why I wanted to do the railing.
What color is the roof? Is it green? Is your roof?
It's like a creamish brown.
It's an asphalt shingle, I mean, on top of the porch.
It's hard to see. This is mine. It's like a brownish green type shingle.
Okay.
The roof that roof's only it was done in 2018. It's been reshingled, so it's architectural shingles. I would have the same shingle come out and match it. The siding on the side would be the same. So all that would match.
So here, I'm sorry, we ask questions?
Yeah.
Is your circular column on your porch?
Right now it's circular, but I want to
You-
change
you
it.
wanna go to
If
the
I go
angular?
to the pillar with the stone, everything you look at is square. You'll go to like a square post.
Yeah, so we'll be a
That's why I just wanted to,
craftsman post.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to confirm you were,
That's what I was asking about too.
No, that I would be eliminating the single pillar that I got because it's deteriorating, so it needs to be replaced. So that would be gone, and then you would see where that post is at. 7 feet from that, you would see another pillar, and then go 7 feet, which would be at the end, where a total of 20 feet, you'd have
Gotcha.
your 3 pillars, and
Is
they
the
would
green-
all be square.
the green shutter one had those circular ones as well.
There's circular, there's square, there's
That's fine.
there's like I said, there's dual pillars on some of the porches. I think the total in the neighborhood, I think there's between 12 and 15 full porches. Out there, they consider that a half porch. I call it a stoop. But you know, just looking to make it longer. That's not really going to come deeper. It's going to follow the same contour. Just go to where the bush is at. The length of the house, if you look at the plat, that's 20 feet long, so it would go 20 feet. Go right to the edge of the house, or like 2 inches inside, so it would stick to the inside, not go around.
You thought a lot about this.
My wife's thought a lot about it. So I've put a lot of thought in. I've lived here since '97. The house is new. You know, I've done everything. I went through all the bylaws and the HOA, and nothing in there says you cannot have stone. Although nobody's really, there's only 2 houses in that development that have had the major, the Krugs. They just done their house. They got the whole back addition on, so they've done major changes. Then there's another house on the other end of the Jockey Club that had the addition done. So 2 major additions in that whole neighborhood. Mine's not really a major addition, but you know, changing the porch and adding 120 square feet to the back to the deck, which doesn't come past the house, and just, you know, there's an 8x8 section. I want to make that 10 by 20, which is be 200.
So I agree with the kind of the staff analysis and the compatibility with the adjacent neighborhoods, and I think it provides some visual interest, or would provide some visual interest. The only question I have, so that I think the columns look fine, the dimensions appear fine. Just the only question I have is these pillars seem to be really
Those
big.
pillars there are not going to be there. That was just like a Pinterest.
Well, I know, but just
to
they
give-
seem really, the
Yeah,
base.
those
just
are
seem-
like 20-inch wide. I'd be looking to go between 12 and 16-inch wide
Okay.
in diameter to give it the aesthetics, because the deck's only going to be, if you look at that depth, the depth perception on that's like a 10-foot plus front porch on there. The porch I got's only, the depth is only, it's supposed to be 6 foot wide by the plat,
Yeah.
but it's actually only 5 foot wide.
Yeah.
So to make it right, it's going to have to be like a 12 by 12 post, or Craftsman where the stone's at, and then a 4 by 4 post on top of that.
Because yeah, the other picture you showed, they just seemed very oversized.
That was just for more that you can see the stone work and give you an idea of what I want to do. The post itself wouldn't be as big as that. It'd be like the one on the left side. You know, that gives you more of a better example. The picture on the left side where you got like a skinnier white post on top of the block work.
And you wanted to do the, I'm sorry, Julie.
No, I am just looking.
Did you want to do a cap on it as well? Like they did
On top of
there?
the stone, yeah, it would have like a cap on it. But basically, from what I'm talking to everybody, what he works with, his dad does masonry work, so I talked to him. Basically, the post goes, the post doesn't start on top of the brickwork, it starts on the concrete, and then what you do is you wrap around that and you cap it, so it gives you the appearance that post is sitting on top of the stone, and it's not.
So rather than doing a wood cap, the base you'll be doing, well, that makes sense.
The post would be all the way to the ground, to
Okay.
the level,
I
to the
got you.
floor. And then you would give it the decorative moldings to make it look like it's starting on top of the pillars.
I'm sorry, that's what I was asking. You'll
Yeah.
put the
It'll
cap
have
on it and do the
it'll have
moldings and
decorative-
go
yeah,
up.
it'll have that look, but it'll be decorative only. It won't be structural. Structure will be down at the ground.
and then the white railings between the,
I want to put white weldings on it, and once again, that's not for code, that's just for appearance. If you look at every deck, I think every full deck in that neighborhood has the full railing, got the railing on the full porch. All the quarter porches or half porches like mine, there's no railing. So I want to kind of keep consistent with the railing all the way around.
Okay.
The only thing that's in question would be for the HOA is, will they allow the stonework, or do they just want to keep it a composite post or a wooden post? So that'd be the other option. You know,
I don't have a prediction, but I won't.
I'm pushing for the stonework just because that's what
Yeah.
everybody's building and that's what everybody's going to.
So another, last question, Mr. Chairman. So you have one kind of the darker stone and then one with the lighter
That
stone.
would be a
which-
lighter stone, more of a light tannish brown
Okay.
color.
I was just thinking of matching the colors you have on the
I want
house.
to match the colors. I was just like trying to take some pictures for comparisons.
Are your shutters off here?
In that picture, they are. They are
Okay.
brown. They're a dark brown. I took them off to repaint them because they were original color. They're the same color that they were. It's like a dark brown. That was the color that the builder put on. I kept it the
Okay.
same color.
That was the only point I thought about the texture of that is just generally.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
everything's
stand
going
out
to be
too
color
much.
coordinated. It's unfortunately I didn't take an updated picture before I came. It was raining. I was going to take a picture, but it's
Oh, that's
raining,
fine.
so I didn't.
I'm just thinking you don't want to have too many competing colors in there. So if it's a beige or a darker color that matches
Yeah,
your
you
color
got-
scheme, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Your concrete is being stained also, or are you using
No, I was
concrete
looking
color?
at stained concrete. It's going to be regular gray concrete with a brush look. You take a broom and you brush it out, so it'll have the same texture that it has now.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do is the existing concrete, I'm going to actually pull that up, so when I pour the concrete, it's all one slab, so there's no cracking or settling.
Chris, can you put
So
the
everything will be
across?
at the same height.
And the details on the top of your posts, are they going to be equivalent to what's at the base of the post?
Yes, actually, the post will be a pre-manufactured post, was what I was going to get, so it's already built, and it's got the trim at the bottom and the trim at the top. But it's all contingent on what HOA says. If they tell me they want a round pole, or if they want a square pole, or if they'll let me go with the stone pillar with a square post on top of it, then that's what I go. And I can always resubmit that information as an amendment or whatever at that point.
Just trying to get all the fine details now, so.
Yes, sir.
I would agree with Emily's recommendation that you give them the flexibility to either extend the porch to match what you already have, or based on your request. So give you the option either or. So you don't have
To
come back.
match the porch on the garage, you mean?
Correct,
what
so,
you're saying.
Porch
Yeah.
is on the ground. I like to match that, but I would change it to square pillars if they don't allow the craftsman style pillars with the stone. If they don't allow that, then I'll change the pillar to a square pillar. Three, it would be three matching. Whatever we go to, all three would match. It's not like we're going to leave one and add two. They're all three going to be symmetrical, or they'll all be the same.
so option one is what you're requesting tonight, which is the stone base,
Yes, sir.
square pillars.
39 inches to
Okay.
49 inches up to stone, and then from there it'd be the either composite or wood square post.
Gotcha. And then if HOA says no, then you would want to go square pillars,
I would go with a square pillar.
but just the square pillar and
Top
the
to bottom.
white railing, okay.
And the shingles would be the same, white gutter, none of that would change. It would just, the only thing showing that to change would be the length. That would be the only thing
So
there.
it would be contingent to the Green Hill Crossings HOA.
Yes.
I just-
Whatever they approve, we could approve, because, well, they're very,
Well, our approval, we would give the options that we discussed tonight, but it would still be contingent on approval by the HOA.
yeah. What I meant is that all three options that he could do, if one is not approved by the HOA, he could go to the other one. The town of Haymarket, within the guidelines, it's okay,
Yes.
isn't it?
I agree. You said a third option, what was the third?
I only had the two.
Two,
I mean,
okay.
it's just, the only thing would be just the style of the pillar. That would be, the biggest question tonight is the style of the pillar.
Okay.
Are we doing craftsman with a stone and square, or are we doing just what you got? No, you got to stick with round, or can I go to square? So that's like the big thing. And that's more, I guess, more for HOA, but, you know, it's trying to work with everybody to see what, you know.
I think we're trying to give you the
just
flexibility, so.
Flexibility, but I'm just trying to enhance the neighborhood. You know,
So-
we're trying to bring fresh bodies to the neighborhood, let's get it spruced up. And
Mr. Chairman, let's say this back one more time. So, option you want tonight is a stone base with the
Option A,
square
yes.
posts.
Yeah.
Option B is the square post without the stone base.
Without it,
Okay,
just extend it with the white rail
gotcha. And then the third one is if the HOA says, no, you got to keep the rounded pillars,
and go to a round
pillar and then extend, okay.
So that'd be that at the bottom of the pile, you
I
know.
think what we're suggesting is give you all of those options. If the HOA
I would like that.
fix it, then you don't have to. Okay. Comfortable with that?
I think we're good.
Do you want me to make a form of the motion based on my notes, or do you want to give it a go? Okay.
Yes,
For-
please.
A form of the motion would be, I approve ZP 20, I make a motion to approve ZP 2020-011 front porch installation at 6896 Jockey Club Lane with the following three options, contingent on the HOA approval. Option 1 would be the Craftsman option with a stone base. The stone would be 39 to 40 inches in height with a stone cap. It would not be wider than 12 inches by 12 inches along the base, and the column work on top would be a square column with a 4-inch by 4-inch post. The color of the stonework would be tannish brown stone colors to match the front of the house. Option B would be a square column for all three columns along the front porch, and option 3 would be round post for all three on the porch.
The only discrepancy I heard in that is maximum of 12 inches. I think it could be up to 16, right, for the stone base?
It can be, but I think if we go 16 or bigger, it would be kind of out of place because it's such a small diameter.
Okay.
I mean, I could also recheck with building code on that because the
Because
porch itself
12
doesn't need a permit,
inches-
but the
That's
roof
12
does.
inches. That's really small, so I
Okay, so
think
then let's
16
allow
might
up to
be
16
better.
inches then.
12 to 14?
So
How about 14 to 16? Or 12 to 16? I mean,
So I just don't want to limit you, is what I'm trying to say here.
Okay. Agreed.
Whatever you guys feel comfortable with.
I think give or take 16 would be the width of my laptop here, so I think saying like 12 to 16.
Can I ask a question since we're talking on this?
Bless you.
Mhm.
Say we go 16 inches. Now, my original plot, it shows that porch to be 6 foot wide. But when it's measured out right now, it's only 5 foot in depth. So what if I took it to the 6 foot that the original plat says, and then I can go to the 16-inch base? I have a copy of the plat here, and it shows on there that's supposed to be a 6 foot porch.
And that pretty much extends it to make it flush with the bump out on your garage, right?
Yeah, I was
It
just
would,
saying,
yeah,
So,
that would make
yeah.
it to the bump
So-
out on the garage. Wouldn't go
Let's
past the bump
show that
out.
in the picture here.
Mhm.
Is that, well, the garage is the front, yeah. Emily, what do you think?
I think that would be fine, especially if it already shows it on the plat
Okay.
at the 6 feet.
Yeah, if you look at the plat, I believe it shows it to be 6 foot. And so when you look at the, actually that's 6 foot on the garage, so that might be 5 foot, that might be my error there, I was reading the bump out on the garage. So that's probably my error, because it is a setback, now that I look at it closer on the plat.
I guess to your point, if you want to extend it to be flush with the garage,
So you'd be okay with that as well?
I just checked with Emily on the zoning requirements, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'll check that part and write it up in your approval letter if
Okay.
that's
I'm just thinking if we
acceptable.
bumped it out to the garage, I think the roof line is already there, so that the roof is already there, we just bring the concrete out to the edge of the garage, then that allowed me to put a bigger paw print for the column. We can go 16-inch with the stonework. Now, that's part of option 1. Now, if they say, no, we don't want the stonework, then we can keep it to the existing diameter and then just add the 3 posts.
I think that would be your discretion. What do you think? So, your discretion, that would be,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like throwing that out there, so if we discuss it,
Okay.
if we go with option B, bump the concrete out 1 foot, 16-inch base with the pillar on top of it.
And when you're sitting in your lawn chair, you'll be able to put your legs up on the railing?
I'm gonna be on the deck. The deck's gonna be out back, it's already there.
Unless your deck's on the south side like mine, and then you want to be in front.
That's why I want the roof on the back of it, because it faces due south. I get all the sun all day long.
Emily, on your draft motion, anything about the railings, that all three options have railings?
Yes, I would say a friendly amendment, that, and then changing the base to 12 to 16 inch range.
Okay.
Do you want me to restate
Do you
it?
need it read?
Okay.
Nope, I'll move
Here
the
said.
motion as stated with the amendments as stated.
Okay, I got a motion.
No, it's too long.
Oh, no, we're just
You
second. I just
want to
just
second
need a
it? All we
second.
need is a second.
All we need is a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm second the motion. Yes.
Sorry about that.
Okay, motion and a second. Last chance to clarify anything. We good? Okay, let's put it up for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good to go. Good luck with your HOA.
I'll know Monday. That's scheduled for this Monday, and then from there, I'll be back to see Ms.
Just let me know and
I
we'll
will.
go from there.
I've been dealing with these people for 22 years, and as long as you do what I'm doing now, it's not that difficult. There's other people that protest it, but change is always good sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want
Bye-bye.
your pictures back, sir?
Yeah, it'd be helpful, because I think I gotta send some of this back to the building permits when this is, they want.
And I'll give you, we'll make a copy of the other stuff when you drop off the HOA.
Right, we'll have to talk about that way it'll all be there, so that'll be next week.
Okay, I'll
Hopefully.
be here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I had to stress that 12 inches because,
nice.
you know, most pillars are like 8 inches thick to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you only add like 2 inches on both sides,
Looks disproportionate.
it's really small. Okay. Move on to the next agenda item. Let me go to the front. ARB laws, bylaws.
So right before the meeting, I handed out the latest version with some edits from Marchant in a hard copy for everybody. And we will make sure that they're attached behind the minutes for approval so that everybody who looks at it in the future knows that this was the document we were discussing, not the one in the packet. So we'll have that clarification. So with that, these are the last edits that Martin, Chris, and myself had put in, and then Marchant's comments. So I don't really know where you guys want to start. You guys, Marchant?
So Marchant, I'll let you comment on your comments.
Comments on my
With your
comments, so-
concerns.
So coming out of, I talked to Emily about doing version control and talking all that. So coming out of February, we had made a number of comments that either Chris or Emily put in. Those were primarily adding to the addendums, talking about referring to the code sections on membership, the comprehensive plan, and then the overall district overlay requirements. So she and I were able to find that version that had those comments in it, and that was actually in our April packet. So kind of going, most of the ones that Martin had already had and already been corrected. So if you jump to page 7, where we start with the addendum, the pink lettering or the purple lettering is what was added in February or March rather? No, it was in the April packet. I added the green language that just said, following appendices compile information, the code and comprehensive plan regarding the roles and responsibilities of the board, land use policies and resources to be consulted by the board. That's the comprehensive plan. And then the matters to be considered by the board, which is the overlay requirements, district overlay requirements. And then just added some clarifying language in the next sentence. Any questions on that?
No.
I think what we're trying to say is, hey, beyond just these bylaws, there's other things that we use to consider. I used it with Emily's suggestion where, you know, when the council looks at it, if we get stuff appealed to the council, they can look at our bylaws and look at the documents that we consult.
Now, is all the green editing here yours?
Yes, the green.
Even in the other sections
Yep.
as well?
So in the other appendix, if you see here, Martin says, the measure is governed by the ordinance and the ARB has no power to change it. Well, the deletions I made were the edits that we added, which he told us we couldn't make. So I just struck them back out. Are they showing up in green in yours?
Yeah.
So,
Because I had transferred it from the previous one, but it's actually not in the code, so it
Correct.
should have been taken out.
so that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
team effort.
Yeah.
So struck old F saying a business owner or property owner, and then just struck the last sentence of the one member may be a licensed engineer. And I just borrowed that directly from the ordinance. Same with 2, all that language matched except for E, which I would agree that it should be malfeasance, but the ordinance says at will and without notice. And then that last F was something that we had added that didn't match the language in the ordinance. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I did, and the rest were just the previous.
Yeah, which we've looked at in the past.
Correct. The language in the purple under Appendix 2, that's the language that was added after February, just to clarify where that inventory came from. So, thank you for your indulgence.
Yep.
I think it's a good working document. It's ready for action. And then the new council, if they wish to, or the new ARB, wishes to make amendments. Seemed like the most pressing issue is that we didn't have bylaws when the ordinance says that we have to. So we at least have a good document to move forward with.
Okay. You have any questions, Julia?
No, it's
No?
very clear what you did from what I studied.
Okay. Thank you. You guys okay with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what the changes, I pulled up the town code just to make sure that, yeah, all the changes were correct, so, I don't
Good.
see any issue with it.
Okay, I think we're finally in agreement. For this moment in time, give it a month and things will change, right?
End of the road.
Okay. So, like I said, I would have loved to have had a full board here discussing this, but I want to get this moving, so we'll put it up for vote.
Do we make a motion?
Yes, please.
I move that the Architectural Review Board adopt bylaws and rules of procedure for the Architectural Review Board as presented, discussed, and amended this evening.
I second the motion.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Last chance for any type of discussion, and I will open that up to the staff as well.
So next step, we will take it to town council for council's approval, and we will make sure the proper public notices are done, so that all citizens can also add comments, suggestions, and thoughts as well.
Okay.
I believe that was part of what we need for the council to pass it.
Okay? And on that note, let's put it up for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So let's put that on the agenda, I guess. Now, next agenda item, we're on old business. Pardo House updates?
So, today is June 17th, and I reached out to Ms. Pardo, and I requested that work be done or completed or a work schedule submitted by today, close of business for the property. That was not complete, so tomorrow I will be sending a notice of violation, and we will start that process officially. It will appear in the paper, and we'll take the necessary steps to see work complete on the house.
This is where we implement the blight ordinance.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have monies allocated in the budget that we can be used to, I guess, just seal it up, or what?
That is correct.
Has she just been out of town again, or just non-responsive, or? a little
I think a
both?
combination of different things. With COVID going on, there was some concern of somebody working on the house and being subjected to potential,
Okay.
dangers, things of that nature. So we tried to work with her. This has been an ongoing process since October, November timeframe. So we've heard a little bit of everything, and our most recent request just to patch up that one window and cover it back with plastic. So days like this where it's pouring rain, it doesn't get in the house, those went ignored, and so it's just time that we take our next step.
Thanks for the update.
Bad. I'm still gonna see a red roof.
Yeah.
Well, right next to Mariah's is kind of a
Odd.
glaring, and that one tree that's leaning over now. So, anyway, at least the yard was cleaned up.
Yeah, speaking of Mariah's, is that open, or?
Yes,
Yes.
so they are open. They are following the current health department and CDC guidelines of doing some outdoor seating with phase 2. So right now they have extended some of their seating to out in the rear of the property. That will not be long term. That is just right now with the ongoing COVID stuff, but they are open. Definitely check it out. It's very nice inside. I don't know if any of you guys have been in yet, but they did a phenomenal job. A lot of attention to detail, and so they also requested to put in the love sign on a temporary basis to see how it was working. At a later date, we can request, the necessary permitting, but they wanted to pop it up and see tourism-wise. The county worked with them actually to install it, so.
Yeah, and I like that, because I think we were discussing about putting Love in the park right across, diagonally
Yes.
across the way.
Yes, they have some unique connections, I guess. One of their former employees at the winery works at the county now, and just, I think, a great networking opportunity. So they asked, they were like, what do you guys think? How do you feel? And then they do also want to do a grand opening once things have kind of relaxed a little bit on events and people in small spaces, so.
On the side, are they going to do another love? It looked like they had 3 pillars on the side of the porch, like they're getting ready to put another sign in.
Which side?
So if you're going east, on the right of the porch, they had kind of the pillars there, like they're getting ready to put another one up, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it, but it
I'll
was,
have to look. I was not aware of any additional signage. I know they had to make 1 or 2 tweaks because of the way they installed the handicap parking space. There is a bit of a lip there. So they may have actually, the county came up and gave them a suggestion of they actually, I think, had to pour a permanent, say, raised bed or something with concrete, because it caused a safety hazard of somebody falling off that little ramp. There was like a 6-inch drop. So I don't know if it's something in connection with that modification or if it was like temporary signage. They're also planting grapevines at the bases of some of their pillars, and they're putting stakes in
you know what, that's
to
what
help.
it is.
Yeah,
I see something coming up, and I think
That's
that
probably
might,
what
that might
it
be a
is.
collar around the bottom, protecting them from getting hit.
that's probably
Okay.
what it is. Yeah, they're doing some. They wanted to feel very much like you're in a Portuguese or Spanish style setting. So.
Even though we did take the terracotta roof off of it,
Yes.
right?
yes. Yes.
Is
Yep.
it- We can belabor that conversation for a second. I've gotten a lot of mixed feedback on that.
Yeah.
So why did the ARB approve that? What are you guys thinking? This isn't Italy, but I think it does a couple of things. It adaptively reuses the building, which I'd be interested to hear any big challenges they had getting the building done, and we can do that another time, I guess. So, but how do we remove those barriers? Because now we have another example of adaptively reusing a ranch-style home in the middle of Haymarket. Did they do like a porous pavement or something like that?
Yes, so they
That was pretty
did the porous pavement so that they could work with the stormwater regulations that they needed to meet, and so they've done that to offset how much stormwater.
Maybe notice that's pretty
Displacement.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like a porous concrete. So
Very
that was good.
expensive endeavor too.
Oof, okay,
Very.
sorry to hear that. And
A
then,
lot cheaper than a holding tank, though, under the parking lot.
Yeah. Yep.
And also too, based on the guidelines we had talked about, just that variation of architecture, what makes the town unique is its varying architecture, not the cookie cutter sort of stuff that we see. So I think now that it's there, people are excited about it, but man, I got an earful.
Yeah. And it's definitely
It's
a
not colonial.
yeah, it's definitely a unique place when you go in, because you also, I mean, I had never been in it when it was a residential home, but you go in and you're like, wow, this was once a residential home, because you walk into this huge open room with a U-shaped circular kind of bar area that you do your tastings at, and they even went as far to put a private lounge in the back, but when you walk through the entryway, you feel like you're walking in a terrace kind of patio area, so they did a unique job, for sure.
Cool. Can I go back to the bylaws for just a second? Pretty please.
Go ahead.
Okay. Is it going to go to this council, or is it going to go to the next council?
We don't have time to public notice it for any meetings for this council, so it'll
Okay.
be, I believe, the earliest we could work it, I don't even know, can we get it in July?
That's fine, no rush, I was just curious.
July or August?
If it was going to this council, I just wanted to have some caveats as to how it evolved, and that, I think some of the rhetoric was that we were trying to get additional power. So I was going to offer the explanation that Martin brought in a lot of the template language as examples of how to set the bylaws up, that this wasn't an attempt to try to, I think to your point, we're simply reestablishing or establishing maybe authority is not the right word, but the roles and responsibilities from the zoning ordinance, kind of clarifying that in the bylaws. So, but if it's going to the new council, then we can explain that then. So,
We'll work with the new mayor to set a date.
there you go.
Agenda.
Okay, if there are no more questions for Emily, we'll go on to new business.
I don't have anything right now. I'll kind of wrap it into a planning commission update. I was kind of mentioned that back in middle of May, actually on election day, we received the last 1 mile review packet from the county. That's for a project down at Antioch and Route 55 for 2 hotels. I've laid it out here from our Monday night planning commission meeting. We've developed some comments regarding traffic analysis, the entry-exit points, other concerns we had on the site. Feel free if you guys want to look at it, if you guys have any thoughts that you want to share as well. That's something that Chris and I will be finalizing and sending over to the county probably on Monday. And then we'll keep everybody updated, new council and the boards, on where the project stands, and then what county meetings they have, public hearings down at the county as well. So that's kind of all for new business planning commission at the moment.
Okay. Any questions towards new business for Emily? Okay, I wanted to address some new business, and of course, that's an easy addressment, and that's next month will be a change in seating and head count. I guess I reach out to the audience and all the town residents. There will be some open spots that will be coming available for ARB that will need to be filled, and we would love volunteers to hand in an application. I would like to thank Julia, Marchant, Ayush, and Connor, who isn't here right now, for their hard work and support as volunteers for this board. And I hope their volunteerism will continue as we move forward. And I will like to wish you all a goodbye, as I will be moving up into the council position and will not be able to be as a ARB chair. And staff, thank you for your hard work for contributing to the ARB and supporting them.
Thank you for leading the board, and for my time here, thank you so much for all your hard work as the chairman.
Well, thank you. And that's all I have for my new business.
One little note, just to go off what you said, the application to serve can be found on the homepage of the website at the bottom, And we also have printed copies here in the office if anybody were to ask you guys how to apply. Or we can email it to you.
It's good.
Julia, you'll be by yourself, maybe. We'll have to get you some people. Because the liaison, well, you have the liaison back, but
Well,
Yeah, I was going to say, a good question for you.
okay. So you'll at least have the
Because-
liaison, Ayush and Julia. Okay, that'll be the quorum, I guess.
Because I'm assuming Ayush's term is up, so we got to reestablish that term, right?
Correct.
Will reestablish, or he will be replaced upon the appointment of a new person with applications for
Okay.
position.
Do you know, are they, is the present council going to try to put that into the agenda on the 26th or 29th, or?
Unsure at this time, we don't have any applications. The only application we have is actually one person actually showed interest in finance committee if it was possible, or the ARB. So I guess we do have one gentleman, new resident here on Fayette Street. So that I will get to proper channels.
Okay. Anything else for new business? Planning Commission update, I'm assuming you're complete with that, so we'll close that one out and go to Town Council update.
Town council update, a lot of it has been dealing with the budget, correcting FY20 and making some edits to FY21, just with COVID and the numbers. Last meeting, we ended up reducing the adopted FY21 budget by 5%. So we reduced some of the cigarette tax, sales tax, business license, and meals tax, just because the numbers were showing that there's going to be some reduction. So we dropped that by 5%. However, most of the meals tax that have been turned in for the month of May are already at pre-COVID numbers. However, they're not yet at normal May, June numbers. So hopefully we can continue that upswing, and we don't need to worry about meals tax, but it was still something we wanted to err on the side of caution. And we also removed the transient occupancy tax, so that removed the tourism line item, and it also removed some funds from debt service, because that's where we had the funds allocated directly for tourism and then the debt service, so those two got removed. And then they named me town manager as of last meeting, so that's the update from council.
Congratulations.
Well, congratulations. Any questions? Good. Okay, last agenda item, adjournment.
I make a motion to.
Second.
Got a motion and
adjourn the
second.
meeting.
No discussion required. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We adjourn at
Actually, congratulations.
Thank you.
7:57.